Shalom, call Halal, Yahawah, Sham, Qadash. Double honors unto the apostles, double honors unto the elder bishops. Salutations to all my fellow laborers doing this work in truth and sincerity, risking their lives and their freedom to do so now more so than ever. To the scattered elect that are scattered around the four corners of the earth, that be like unto the speckled bird, the Israelite foreigners among the heathen that look like the heathen. And to the Aquath that are listening and learning, to you I say Shalom. This is your brother Malcolm from the branch of the Great Millstone here in Chicago, coming at you with another lesson in truth. And I'm out here in Grant Park right now, on the south end of it. On the south end of, because Millennium Park and Grant Park kind of combine, and it's like, I think past Ida B. Wells or Congress, that part is Grant Park, and then everything north of there is Millennium Park. Well, I don't know how they divided it up. It's all one damn park. All right, but I'm on the south end of it, and nevertheless, I just, this thing is still hot. The whole riverboat brawl. Jake even made a rap song, a trap song out of it, which is actually kind of banging too. I don't even like trap music, and I like this track. But anyway, and someone left a comment that this was all a psyop. It happened right after a Trump rally. So, these Edomites, were super drunk and, and celebrating, and so right after this Trump rally, this is what goes down. So, real quick, and whether it was a psyop or not, it's still prophecy. It had this thing had to come to pass, whether it was a psyop or not. A man's goings are not of his own ways. The Lord, the Lord controls everything. But this is 2 Corinthians 2:11, and it reads, "Lest Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices." So it really doesn't matter if it was a psyop, if they set it up or not. This thing was prophecy. It was meant to happen. All right. So let me go to this TikTok video, and
the Alabama Riverboat Massacre, the Chocolate Thunder from Down Under. So basically, if you haven't seen the video, go to Twitter and watch multiple videos, because you have to watch this from multiple different angles because there's so much going on.
Now this is a so-called white man speaking.
Guard went and asked a group of white dudes to move their pontoon so a big boat could come in and let the passengers off. Well, they took high offense to that and started whooping the absolute piss out of this dude. And I mean, they're giving this dude the business. And if I recall, there was one guy trying to help him out that he was getting the business too. And that's all it was just asking them to move their boat. It was after a Trump rally. These guys were drunk, and they weren't having any of it. It started out with like 4 of them, and then one dude comes off the stairs with like a flying knee and hits the security guard with it, and here comes 3 or 4. It was like 9 on 1. But all of a sudden, out in the distance, you see one guy jump off a boat and start swimming towards the dock. Once he gets up on the dock, there's quite a few others that come and follow him. It's like, all right, we ain't gonna let this stand. And they go over to the boat that the guys are on. Man, they lit these dudes up. And I guess the dudes that were getting lit up's girlfriends started coming off everywhere trying to fight too, which was a terrible idea. It went from 9 on 1 to like 45 on 12. They got the piss beat out of him, son. They were throwing girls in the water after they got whooped on, and they were just beating the piss. There was guys jumping in the water to get away from them. The greatest part of the whole thing was the older fella who picked up the folding chair like WWE, started running after people, and everybody was getting the business, son. It didn't matter who he was smacking folks with his chair. And one lady got...
Let me interject right there. Upon watching the video, the older guy who picked up the chair got sucker punched by the younger, large white male. That's when he picked up the chair.
Knocked out, just kind of sitting there dazed. He come up and just crushed her, son. I haven't seen a better swing since King Griffey Jr. was playing. Cops were watching. They were basically worthless, but they're supposed to be stopping the fight, but they understood that it was not a fair fight. That dude got treated pretty bad. And they just let it rock and roll until that poor lady got hit with the chair, and then it was over with. I mean, they had to do something or they probably would have got fired. What was really upsetting was that there wasn't one white person that jumped in to help that poor dude. There wasn't one dude there that jumped in to stop all the other white guys from whooping the shit out of them. I don't care what color you are. If you see somebody getting beat up on unfairly for no reason and you don't do something, you're just as equally guilty. It may hurt for a little while. You may get whooped up on a little bit, but hey, man, you may save somebody's life. Jump in there and throw some hands with some folks. Quit being so scared. But I hope it's a lesson that they learn.
Well, I'm gonna stop right there. But the thing is that the majority of the comments that I'm getting, even that I'm seeing on this event, even the white people had you know, that are chiming in on it. Most of them are agreeing with the white people getting their ass whooped. I mean, most of them are in agreement that they went wrong, and I've never seen that before. All right, this is a new time, a new day, and a new era, because, you know, like in the past when there were mass hangings and murders and rapes and stuff like that, people saw what was going on, but, you know, none of the white men stood up against the mobs. You didn't have a mob of white people, you know, so-called. There's no such thing as white people. Let me establish that first in hand. That's a social construct that they made up in 1681, right here in America, in Virginia. But you never saw masses of so-called white men forming up against the so-called white men who were burning down towns and cities, you know, and destroying all the black neighborhoods and all the towns that they had built up, you know, in the 1920s and in the 1930s and 1910s and the late 1800s. You never saw it then, when the mobs were grabbing up someone, beating the snot out of them, and then, you know, cutting off their fingers and their male members and hanging them for trees. Nobody came to their aid then. All right. So the long story being made short, that there's a spirit moving throughout the world, man. And it's just going to show you that we're close to the time of the downfall of Esau, Edom. Hold on, let me. I'm trying to. This technology, boy, I tell you. Oh man. You know, that brother just have to hold on. He didn't leave a message, so. But let me play this next video. Let me find this next one. And yeah, with this Gadite sister right here. And these videos are on TikTok, by the way.
I have time for one more lesson. What's your name? Ray from Ohio? That way you can give it some thought before you come back.
Now, the caption says, really? You know, I'm going to just put it in the screen. All right? And she's responding to it. Well, there's a glare. But it says, really? Hit a woman on the ground with the chair? You are the problem with this country. Really? No, the problem was that you're here. And no one hit you with a chair when you set foot off the boat. You know? But here we go. Let's let the native woman, who has every right to speak on this subject matter, let her speak.
I have time for one more lesson. What's your name? Ray from Ohio? That way you can give it some thought before you come back. Let me tell you about this country, okay? The problem with this country is that people like you come over here. They completely ignore the fact that a violent racist mob attacked a black man doing his job. And they want to separate that violent racist mob after the fact, after they all got rocked in the dome by a folding chair. We pick and choose, don't we? Let me tell you something else about this country, sir. They are still finding the bones of Native children under residential boarding schools. This country was a piece of shit upon inception.
And that's all she had to say. You know, that's all she had to say. Let's go to the Puerto Rican woman, right, to the Ephraimite. So Israelite women are jumping in. You know, here we go. Oh yeah, that's how a video starts.
I am one of the spokespersons of the Puerto Rican delegation because I lived in Alabama, in Montgomery, Maxwell Air Force Base for 6 years. Yeah, I'm sorry too. But anyway, I have been chosen to let you know that we accept the conditions of your treaty. We accept we will be willing, able, and ready to answer the call of the hat. The Puerto Rican delegation has spoken. We are honored to be a part of it. We will respond. I personally will man the medical tents and take care of any injuries. Well, not any, some injuries. It would be an honor. Well done.
Call of the hat. Her video starts with the older Jake, the Judite, the so-called black man, throwing his hat in the air, basically signaling that he's about to throw down when he knew that it was about to be a fight. And that's what she means, and that she's saying that the Puerto Rican delegation is ready to get in on this ass whooping against the Edomites. And you have to understand, that spirit is moving, and it's a mighty thing. That spirit of the tribes, returning and coming back together again, and it's got these Edomites shook up, man. They're nervous about it, and they should be. They have to pay for what they've done. Let me grab a quick scripture. Thinking about the Gadite woman here. Let me grab this. Because Ezekiel 37 has a spiritual side, but it also has a carnal side. Because, hey, even though the 2/3 are going to die, the Lord is still going to use a lot of them as, those spirits that He created for vengeance. A lot of those spirits are among the 2/3. Okay, but let me go to Genesis 49 and 18 and 19. I think it's 19. Yep, and it reads, Gad, a troop. That was the U.S. cavalry when they overtook Gad and Reuben. The natives and the natives of the plains and my tribe, the people of the that were dwelling in Florida, the Reubenites. And it says, a troop shall overcome him, but he shall overcome at the last. So at the last, Gad is going to that's going to be like Apostle Rawchaa said, the last American Indian uprising. That's going to be a uprising of the Gadites against Esau, Edom. It's prophesied. All right, and like it or not, whether you want to, a lot of you want to, argue that point, but the evidence is overwhelming as to who they are, and you're gonna have to face these people, and they're gonna bring that business, just like the Edomite dude said, they coming to bring the business. All right, tomahawks and knives flying, they coming to bring the business, and Yahawah, I'm right there with them. All right, but this thing is gonna happen, man. One last scripture, and I'm gonna get Obadiah for this one. Yeah, this is Obadiah. I'm gonna start at verse 15. It says, for the day of Yahawah is near upon all the heathen. As thou hast done, it shall be done unto thee. Thy reward shall return upon thine head, upon thine own head. So, you can go and look at the brutality and the gruesomeness of the things that was done to so-called black people, so-called native people, so-called Hispanic people at the hands of these Edomites. The brutality that was done to the Ishkarites, who they fraudulently call Mexicans, in Texas, just Texas alone, because you got to remember, almost the entire West Coast and some of the Plain states was all Issacharite or Mexican territory. So, a lot of them coming here, they're just coming back home. You're calling these people aliens on their own home. But anyway, it says, I started again. For the day of Yahawah is near upon all the heathen. As thou hast done, it shall be done unto thee, and thy reward shall return upon thine own head. For as ye have drunk upon my holy mountain, so shall all the heathen drink continually. Yeah, they shall all drink, and they shall swallow down, and they shall be as though they have not been. But upon my Mount Zion shall be the deliverance, and there shall be a holiness, as the house of Jacob shall possess their possessions, and the house of Jacob shall be as a fire, and the house of Joseph shall be a flame. And that's talking about the northern and the southern kingdom. Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans coming back together, plus the scattered among the heathen that look like the heathen. All right, we're going to all come back together and be as one. And it says, and the house of Esau for stubble, and they shall kindle in them and devour them, and there shall not be any remaining of the house of Esau, for Yahawah hath spoken it. So, you know, as you witnessing the fall of your enemy, as you're witnessing the fall of Esau, Edom, all right, he is going to go into slavery for 1,000 years after this particular kingdom is destroyed, and after that 1,000 years of free, the most brutal chattel slavery that mankind will ever know, it's going to make what happened to us a walk in the park. All right, and after that is over, they're going to get rounded up and get burned. You know, they're going to be stubble in the fire. Hey, so with that, all praises, glory, and honor be unto Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, Bahasham, Qadash, YAHAWADAH, Kwam Yasrala, Shalom.